So yesterday, Magic got a buff, but not only that, the Masterwork staff also got a change too. In fact, all Masterwork weapons did in this sense, but I wanted to specifically test out the Masterwork staff because of the fact that you can pair this with Crypt Bloom armor, and I wanted to see if I could build a setup to be as tanky as absolute possible. In this video, we are going to be testing out the Masterwork staff's new effect, mixed with Crypt Bloom armor, and a few other things which we'll get into very soon, to see if I can pretty much just soul split camp any boss in the game, or which bosses I can and cannot do this with. So hopefully you find this video interesting, and let's get into the gear setup and what I'm going to be doing. So to get started, this is the gear setup that I'm going to be trying out in the first place. I may make adjustments to this later on depending on how it performs, and if I think, hey, this could be a good idea, let me try this out instead. What we're going to do is use full Crypt Bloom armor because we want to tank up as much as possible. And on that, I have just my regular perks. Now, I was going to change this to add some more tanky perks, but actually looking at the effect on the staff, it kind of makes sense to just keep them as they are to increase my damage output. This is because the effect on the staff is now that attacks will heal you for 2% of the damage dealt, which is actually sounds kind of small, right? You might think like, what? Just 2%? That's pretty crap, no? Like Soul Split is way better. 2% is not going to be enough to make a big difference. But in fact, Soul Split will do 10%, but as you increase your damage, it actually drops down by quite a lot. So the way this works is lots of small hits for Soul Split is better at healing you than getting one big hit just because of the diminishing returns. So if this is a flat 2% no matter what, it could actually be really decent, and we'll definitely find out. And then finally, it's going to be worth knowing that I will be testing out loads of different auras and different spells as well. I'll try Exsanguinate, I'll try the Aurora Emerald spell because it's an earth spell that gives more damage reduction, and I'll try a few other things. And then of course I will also try out the fact that this is meant to just be a replacement weapon for like entry-level players, and I'll just chuck on my regular PVM gear and replace my Staff of Armadyl with this instead and see how that fares out. As for auras, I started off with the Vampirism aura, and then I moved around to DPS auras as well. I pretty much tested everything, so you're going to see that testing process edited up a little bit, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts towards the end. I want to check if spells will also heal you rather than just abilities. Let's do that. Okay, and then now if we use, let's use Ice Barrage. Our spells will heal as well. Okay, so spells do too, so I would assume that that also probably means that Crackling would also? But the goal of this video and the stream is going to be, can I just soul split bosses and give zero shits about like prayer flicking and that sort of stuff, and how many mechanics can I tank because of it? That's kind of the goal. So I'm going to use, to begin with, the Emerald Aurora spell as well. The reason I'm going to use Emerald Aurora is, for those of you that don't know, it will give me a 5% damage reduction buff as well. So it just adds a little bit extra to that. But it's also an earth spell, which means that Crypt Bloom's effects will also be doubled, I believe. These bonuses are doubled if your primary spell is an earth type. Yeah, so it'll be doubled as well. Let's start with Vampora and we'll get rid of it if it's trashed, like if it takes too long. All right, so just soul split everything and see how it goes. We're also expecting this to be insanely slow, but I guess we'll see. We'll use Exsanguinate for now, and we'll change back for the last phase. If I feel like I need it, then we'll swap. There's no way we're going to be able to soul split this. This is going to be too much, I think. Maybe with like Reflect, we'll be able to. My health's going up, guys. Health is going up, not down. Okay, now is it starting to go down now? I'm out of prayer. Okay, we got the renewals. It's fine. We use those. Okay, we're gonna use this, and we're gonna use a couple of defensives. Okay, I think we need to prayer magic now. We still get healing from our staff though. Okay, now can we just go back to soul splitting? Damn, this is actually crazy though. No, I'm gonna try it with. I'm going to try it with like Maniacal or Magirite at some point too. We'll try Vampora for a few other things for a while because I don't want to just like, you know, keep jumping between them. But this might have been the least bothered phase 4 I've ever done, ever. The heal, my health's going up, not down. 300 and, so that was crazy. What the frick? I actually I'm shocked by how little damage. Like I know I've just stacked all damage reduction, but, and that was without using an earth spell as well. Well, let's try it again, but on the last phase, I'll change to Earth Spell. Okay. So how much did Hellhound matter here? Let's see. I'm going to change to the Emerald Aurora. And we'll change to Hellhound if it feels like we need it. which I think it does. But let's just keep going for now, because I feel like the Ripper Demon will be helpful. With the Hellhound, we could tank this and heal up with Soul Split, so I'll see if we can with the Ripper as well. While use Emerald Aurora. No, we can't. Okay, cool. Okay, that was, it was faster, but the Hellhound made the last phase, like, insanely easy. Okay, so get rid of you. Goodbye. Summon you. Put you on. Make sure Animate Dead is on. Okay, so now we're on the Emerald Aurora. We are using a Hellhound. And I've gone back to full tank. Is this going to be even easier now? If I use Reflect, I can still heal up with Soul Split, but it's going to run out any second. Let's just go to Pray Magic. And then when this is dead, I want to go back to Soul Split. See if I can do it. Can I out-heal Carapac? Last bit here. It looks like I can. So you just have to Pray Magic. Maybe use Reflect once here. That's crazy. What? This can't be... This can't... I mean... Look, you're spending... This is actually 6 minutes 20. You know what? That's considering... like how little effort this is, that's not a bad time. Like it's not good. You're not pushing for insane GP per hour here. But if you can't PVM, I accidentally ate once. I used one piece of a blubber jellyfish, so 500 healing. That's crazy. No, that's actually insane. That's crazy. So we just need to see if we can get through, like, you know, without the healing coming through. If the healing comes through, that's a problem. Oh, I'm on a Hellhound. I should be on a Ripper Demon. But we'll do it with this for now because we're here. I don't think we're going to have any issues soul splitting everything here. That's not going to be a problem. The problem that we're going to have is if we can do enough damage, which we can. We can already tell because we're already nearly phased. Easiest Raksha kill incoming. This is also on Vampirism. So once we've tested out a few bosses with Vampirism, I will go back and try out some bosses with like Maniacal and see how good that is. Because we heal based off damage as well. So if we're hitting harder, we heal more. I didn't bring Bladed Dive for the pools. That was silly, but it's fine. I need to kill the pools a little bit before we phase because I didn't bring Bladed Dive. If I can get through here before we restart siphoning again, then that's awesome. What the frick? This is ridiculous, man. Rax is even better than Carapac, though. This is with a Hellhound as well. We're gonna try Ripper Demon after this because it'll be even faster. Hey, we got 62k. 4 minutes 40. You know what? That's pretty slow for these days. You know what? Without a Ripper Demon, I don't have a problem with that at all. Let's try with the Ripper Demon, though. So I actually messed up the one with the Ripper Demon by getting the Enrage up because I didn't take my Bladed Dive stuff, but I just did another kill and I got a less than 4 minute kill with the Ripper Demon and bringing my Bladed Dive stuff to clear the pools properly. That's pretty crazy considering this is 0 effort, like 0 risk of dying as well, and all you have to do is focus on like damaging Raksha. I didn't use Spiritual Prayer Potions or anything like that. Less than 4 minutes for the average person is probably pretty good. So that's pretty impressive. I don't know, man. That's really good. Let's try 100% Zami. See if I can just soul split the whole thing. I'm interested in seeing how it feels without Vampora, though. I mean, this doesn't... So normal mode Zami would be a piece of cake with this, of course. But this doesn't mean that the last phase is going to be any easier, because it really... if anything, this will make the last phase even harder. I'm using Cinderbanes. Damn it, how did I notice this? Come on, don't let them put us through. There we go. Nice. Right, ready to see me fail this last phase now? This I don't think there's any way we're going to do the damage for this, right? Oh, my Sunshine's on. Cool. I should be back. We have to 2-round it. Oh, wait. I've had an Adren pot. Oh, wait, it's dead. What? I wasn't overload. Oh, when did my overload end? Ended like... It did end before we did that. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. What the frick? That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Well, that was the easiest Zami kill of my life. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of like a visual like representation of how that actually went on stream, but I'm just going to give you the quick rundown for the rest of it now to sort of save some time because it's the same pretty much everywhere. Next up, I went to the Sanctum of Rebirth. The first two bosses was very easy in terms of how much damage I was taking. The first boss, I was surprised. I took like very little damage whatsoever. The second one, I just messed up a lot of the mechanics because, you know, I was just bad. But in terms of actually getting through the fight, yeah, when you need DPS, it kind of sucks because you are missing a spec for sure. You are missing that extra bonus damage that you would normally get, and that kind of matters, especially in the second boss here with the pillars healing and stuff. But you're not at risk of dying really. As for the final boss, you can just not have to prayer flick here, so you can do the entire fight with no prayer flicks whatsoever, except you're gonna have to use it for just when you deal with mechanics, otherwise you will die to some of the mechanics. But it's important to note that this isn't going to make you able to do this boss because of the fact that, you know, you got to dodge all the mechanics on the floor. This place is hectic as hell, and I actually didn't finish this kill because I've not been in there ages and I messed up the final thing. But in terms of actually dealing with the boss, it was fine. I was healing enough to not have to worry about the damage that I took. If I got hit by a wave here and there, deals magic damage, so it didn't really matter. I could just heal back up through it. I couldn't like tank loads of waves, but the odd one now and then was absolutely fine. It makes the boss very like much less punishing, but you still have to know how to deal with the mechanics. Finally, I went back to just a few other places and used the Majorat aura instead of using Vampirism aura because I wanted to test that out, and this was fine. It didn't make that much difference. Vampirism was noticeable at like Karapak in the final phase, but at Raksha it didn't matter. It was just a faster kill. Karapak, it was still absolutely fine. It was just a faster kill slightly. So if you wanted to, you could use the Majorat aura, but if you want to fully not give a care in the world, then Vampirism is fine too. You're just going to get slower kill times. And then finally, I took the weapon and just used it as if I was like replacing my current weapons with this. This is probably how it was intended to be used by Jagex, as basically they're expecting you to just pick this up in place of the Staff of Armadyl because you can't afford a Staff of Armadyl yet, right? That's kind of the thinking behind it. However, when you do this, it really falls flat on its ass. It feels like there's no point in ever getting this, and I'll explain why in just a second. But the overall performance of this, the damage that you output just isn't really enough for the healing to matter. You're never going to notice that you are healing from it in terms of like, oh, this is going to help me survive, because you're outputting such little damage compared to the other stuff anyway, that you can't really replace it. Like if you take this to places like the God Wars Dungeon 2, sure, you'll be absolutely fine. But even then, it's like, there's no point. And the reason for this is the staff right now costs about 500 million GP. It also costs just less than that to be able to craft one of these, and it takes a horrendously long time to craft one. But because it costs that to actually make it in the first place, then chances are the price of this staff isn't actually going to drop all that much. The staff, even if it dropped down to 300 million GP or 200 million GP, you still would never buy this because the tier 95 dual wield weapons are 100 million GP each. So if you can afford this staff, you can afford those two dual wield weapons, and they will outperform this by a mile every single time, no questions asked. The damage you're going to get from them and the spec of Soulfire, the resets on the bleeds, and the bonus effects from the passives are insanely better on the dual wields than this staff. So for Magic, if you're looking at this as just, hey, which weapon should I buy? Should I buy the staff because I'm an entry-level player and that's what this is designed for? No. You should absolutely just buy the dual wield tier 95 weapons, because this is not going to give you anything anywhere near what that is going to give you. And in fact, you will be able to soul split heal better with those because, as mentioned earlier, your soul split will do more healing if you hit lots of small hits, which being able to reset bleeds and also use the spec of the dual wields, you're going to be able to get a crap ton of healing back from that. It's going to be noticeable and huge, and the damage that you put out too is going to be way ahead. So unless this staff drops to like 100 mil at the most, it's probably never going to be worth buying on Magic. Unless you want to do what I did in the beginning of the video, where you stack all of the damage reduction and you add this as an added bonus to make it even easier for you to survive through the entire thing. Don't get me wrong, when I was tanking these other bosses at the beginning, it was insanely easy. It was stupid. It was crazy. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to react to anything. Apart from like the odd time at the end of Karapak's hard mode phase, where I had to maybe protect magic for 10 seconds while I killed the final clone, there was nothing else that could possibly cause me to die here unless I like went AFK or really messed up. you're going to be getting way slower kills than you would if you had DPS gear, but you also have to not think about what you're doing in the slightest. The healing you get is ridiculous, the damage reduction is crazy, and it is something that if you wanted to, you could do this. Like if you really struggle with PVM and you can't kill Raksha, you can't kill Karapak, you can't even kill, like, I don't know, the Arc Glacier or God Wars Dungeon 2 bosses. This, if you have the GP for it, don't get me wrong, this is not cheap. This is not an option that people like. If you're new to PVM, you should use this. It is not for that. But if you have tons of money, you can't PVM with the top end gear, and you just want to force some kills, you could do this. Would I recommend it? No, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I would recommend learning PVM correctly. This is going to actually make you probably worse and teach you to be lazy, but it is an option. And it is kind of funny to look at. If you just want to get a kill for Reaper, if you just want to get through like Zuck or something, it would probably be pretty good. And then even looking at the Raksha kill that I did afterwards, getting the kill time there wasn't even that bad, to be honest, and it was zero effort. Other than doing the bladed dive to clear the pools, this was the easiest Raksha kill of my life. Zero chance of dying unless you mess with mechanic, in which case you still also have a ton of leeway to recover and get back into the fight. So in that situation, this is kind of interesting and fun, but otherwise, I feel like the Masterwork weapons as a whole, not just the staff, because a lot of people can be like, well, you didn't even test the other ones, not just the staff is worth it. And there's a reason why, because of the prices. One, if you're going to buy the staff, you just buy the tier 95 dual wields like we already talked about. The Masterwork two-handed sword is the cheapest of the entire lot, and this is still 215 million GP on the last record that we can see here. This is still too close to another weapon, the Zaros Godsword. The Zaros Godsword is going to be a better option because it will give you the special attack that gives you like a mini berserk, which gives you more damage than this would ever give you, and the 2% healing is just not really worth your time. You're never going to notice the 2% healing making a difference when you could kill the boss quicker and it'll be better overall. If you're having to tank the boss longer, that healing doesn't matter. The same applies for the bow as well. The bow is a bit different because there's not really like a crazy other option that you would buy instead, but the bow is even about 550 to 600 million GP, which puts it insanely close to an Eldritch crossbow. If you've already gathered nearly 600 mil for the actual Masterwork bow, you might as well spend the extra couple hundred mil to get an Eldritch crossbow, because the Eldritch crossbow has the split soul option, and this is insanely strong. You will out DPS the Masterwork bow any day of the week by using split soul. It is going to be a better option. So overall, in my opinion, the Masterwork weapons are probably not ever going to be worth it, and they're in a weird place. They're not going to be for entry-level players because one, they're too expensive to buy, but two, there's better options to buy straight away anyway, and three, they don't offer anything. The 2% heal by itself with just regular PVM gear is not actually anything to consider, really. It's really not. But when you do tie it with Crypt Bloom, Animate Dead, other damage reduction stuff, it can be kind of interesting. So while it has its interesting, funny moments, overall, I think these things are just, a little bit, not really worth looking into or considering in any way. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you tried this thing out? Have I missed something maybe? I don't think I have, but if I have, then let me know. But otherwise, don't buy this. Buy the other weapons instead. Catch you later, guys. Bye.